I am delighted to show you what Teresa Welch has done with Stamperia's Alchemy paper pack. They are just stunning, and I want you to come play with us. Okay, this is Teresa's first card, and what I thought I would do is show you the different ways that different pieces that she uses. Now, in all of Stamperia's papers, they're going to be papers that have big, bold designs. They're going to be cutouts, and that's just so helpful. Lots of ways to use these pieces, and Teresa has done an amazing job. So, okay, we'll start with this card. Now, she has added the hammered gold paper with many of the projects that I'm about to show you. And certainly this is going to look very nice. It has this kind of vintage look. It is embossed itself. It's called hammered gold, and you can see how nicely it goes with the papers. Now, for the first sheet of this, Teresa has used, let me find it. Here we go. Oh, I know. Sorry, slight stall there. Okay, so with this one, there is the piece that she's used. Now, she has cut it out exactly as you see it with that really fun checkerboard border. But then, what do? Well, she's gone into this sheet, and she's used this tag right here. Just works really nicely. Now, she's matted both of these on the hammered gold, and it just works so nicely. Now, for this backing paper, let me show you where that came from. Okay, you might look at this sheet and you'd be absolutely right in looking at it and going, what am I going to do with that? Certainly if I'm scrapbooking, I can do photographs in here. I've got a really fun frame. But what if you want to cut this apart for cards? Well, Teresa to the rescue. I want to show you right here. There's an X. Well, Teresa simply placed her card right there. So she first covered her card with the hammered gold, and then she cut a smaller piece, cutting right here. Now, she wasn't terribly worried about the art because she knew that these other pieces are going to become her focal. But what the art does is it really balances it. It gives you the same colors, the same feel. So nothing is calling attention away from what she wanted to have done on her card. Now, she did use the jute, and this is a pack of all colors of jute together, and that works really well, not only with this card, but with several others in the grouping. She also added, these are the Parchment Garden Petals from 49th and Market. Now, you can see this has lots of different flowers in it. Teresa used them very sparingly, but they add a really nice bit of dimension along with the jute. Now, she chose to stamp inside the circle, and again, you saw the circle on this piece, and she happened to use the Happy Hello Love and Thanks stamp, and there is a For You on here, and so she's used that. You can certainly use any stamp that you have. Now, for the inside of her card, well, this is where she's gone, and this is also using one of the cutouts from the piece. You can see she just, again, cut it out. It's really quite ready. And for her background, she used this sheet. Now, it comes like this in the paper pack, but Teresa chose to use it this way, and she simply used it right there. It gives a nice border for that tag to kind of rest on. She cut it down. It's not the whole 5 by 6.5 inch card. It's smaller than that. And she did some inking along the edge just so that it all looks the same. A bit of that jute, and she did some stamping on top again with the same stamp, the Happy Hello Love and Thanks. So thanks a bunch. On the front of it, it says For You, and it's got fortune on the front of it too. So this ends up being a very rich looking card. And I think it's just stunning and easily done. I appreciate how she has really maximized the papers to get her idea across. Okay, love that. Let's go to the next one. Now, This is also using, obviously, some of the cutouts from the paper pack. Now, let me go find them. Okay, so we did the owl. This time she's using that gear-driven heart key. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Isn't that gorgeous? Really, really pretty. So that's what she wanted to use as not a focal, but really a wonderful big label almost. Now, the tag that's right there, that comes right here. And she's just turned it on an angle. No need to mat it or anything. In fact, any of these don't need much matting because they've already got a dark edge around them. So they're really going to show up. Now for her background paper, let me show you what she used. It's this piece. Isn't that gorgeous? And she has used it from the corner because she wants to maximize her paper, don't you think? Right here. And you can see that gold strip. Well, that's right there. She took advantage of that and just started from the edge of the paper over and simply glued that to the front of her card, glued this tag and then that tag at an angle. And then she took something new, well, something else. This is the Timeless Chipboard from our friends at 49th and Market. And this piece is right here. She simply turned it over because they're laser cut, and she did something pretty amazing with it. Steve, I'm going to ask you to get in close so you can see because it is just so striking. This is using the Bronze Age embossing powder. This comes from our friends at Creative Expressions, and it is just beautiful. So you're going to use your watermark ink pad, so Stays On or the Watermark by Spectrum Noir, and pat that onto the chipboard, and then use the Bronze Age embossing powder, and look what you're going to get. It is just striking. And the chipboard, although it's not very thick, it rises up enough to really be a dimension onto your card, and adding that embossing powder on top just adds a nice piece. Now the word timeless is also in the chipboard, as are the two screws right there. So all of those get done with the embossing powder. A little bit of jute around the paper before it was glued down, and then glue the other pieces on top. Isn't that stunning? For the inside of her card, she uses yet another sheet. It too has die cuts. Now on the one side, they're all really pretty and colorful. In fact, you can see that sun right there. But on the other side, they get a bit more muted. So Teresa took this one, turned it upright, and cut out this tag from the first sheet and turned it sideways, so you can turn them all sorts of ways. And she stamped on it birthday wishes, and then she used one of the other cogs and just inked it. Now, a little bit of jute knotted and glued in place. So birthday wishes, timeless. We hear time and again that people really would like some ideas for masculine, and you have it right here. This is gorgeous. And timeless is a wonderful name for it, don't you think? So the chipboard, the embossing powder, all of that is working so nicely on this card. Are you ready for another one? Oh, I guess one thing I didn't tell you is the stamping. So birthday wishes was stamped in there, and it happened to come from this stamp. Now you may have birthday wishes elsewhere, but if you are interested in this particular stamp set, we only have 5 left. So it's called Decorative Card Flaps, and it's gorgeous, but I just wanted you to know that. Okay, now we're going to move to the next card, and it, like many of these, is stunning. Look at that. Now it too is using that hammered gold. Can you see it? Both with the cutting die and the matting. Let me show you what she chose to use with this. This is the To the Moon cutting die. Now it says Love You to the Moon and Back right here, and it's got that half moon. And I think it's a wonderful combination with these Alchemy papers. just really pretty. Kind of neat that the moon is right there. That is another of the cutouts that are included in the Alchemy set. There are so many. And you can see, just cut that out. She matted on the hammered gold. And then she also die cut out of the hammered gold with the To the Moon cutting die. Just really gorgeous. Teresa loves to use the sticky specs. And just in case you haven't seen it, let me talk you through it. This is something that we just almost have difficulty keeping it in stock. So you're going to go ahead and take your cutting die, do your die cut with it, then place your cutout piece, lift back this plastic, place it onto all of these micro dots, then put the plastic down, gently press down. And when you lift the plastic up, you can lift up your die cut and just place it onto your project. No gluing is required. It's going to set there perfectly, and it's not going to lift up. And these are reusable multiple times. So Sticky Specs is the name of the product and comes highly recommended from Teresa and the design team. Now, what else has she done here? Well, she has the papers that she used is this one. Now look at that. That's just gorgeous and beautiful. And what would you do with it? Well, we'll follow Teresa. And she has used this part right there to cover the front of her card. And you get all of that swirling, and all the colors are going to coordinate, but it makes a beautiful background for that half moon. Now, the other piece that she has is this cutout. We've gone back to this sheet several times. So here is that key in a tag this time. And then she added one of the Parchment Pixie Petals. This is also from 49th and Market, right there. Very, just a nice touch. And it also has some leaves with it too. Now, in addition, she cut out the Love You. Remember I said that the cutting die has Love You to the Moon and back? Well, this is Love and You. We have some copper jewel dazzles. You can see them highlighted on the inside of her card. Oh my, look what she's done. Now, I can see that this really unique shape was cut out and used here. And this has a darker color, so she used a lighter color for the back of it. Now, let me find that for you. And here's the paper that she used. So again, this is an all-over print. Look at that, just so pretty. Yes, I'm in love with these. I love pretty papers. And here is the area that she used. So she simply used this piece and matted it on the hammered gold. But she did some layering. So in addition to this tag and to another cut of the To the Moon, she also brought in these 8 labels for your greetings dies. Now these are kind of an evergreen cutting die set, meaning that you can use them so many ways, so many places. And Teresa has used this one right here. So she die cut it out of the papers and matted it on the hammered gold. And then Love You to the Moon and back, well, that's the complete statement from the cutting die. On the front of the card, she just used the Love and You, the Love and You. She clipped out the other words, but here you get the full treatment. And I like how they just really fill that space. So another moon here. So you've got the back layer, this tag, this label, and then this cutting die, all of them. Now, if you need the cutting die to go the opposite direction, when you go to die cut it, just turn your paper over, and that way you'll get your specialty paper or whatever you're using going in the direction that you want. Isn't that beautiful? What I think Teresa is doing is she's making phenomenally stunning cards, but she's letting the paper do the hard work. She's using her creativity in assembling everything, and what a perfect job she's doing. Okay, I have one more card. For her last card, Teresa has created something very, very special. Now, there will be patterns, so when you go to the instructions, hopefully you're watching this on paperwishes.com. If you're not, if you're watching it on YouTube, go over to paperwishes.com, click on the webisode, and then when you go to the gallery, it will give you the instructions for all of her cards, and it will also give you the patterns. So there will be a download for the patterns. There are several of them. Let me show you how this card looks. So I'm going to slip off the belly band, and I'm going to open this up like so, but then it keeps expanding. How pretty is that? Before I get to the tags and things inside, let's go back to the front of the card. And as I told you, there are patterns, but the papers that Teresa is using, I love this one. Well, I haven't said I hated anything, have I? But look at this. I love the rusty patina, just gorgeous. She used it in little pieces, so I have a feeling that this is going to show up for cards, lots of other cards, because there's a whole 12 by 12 of it. So let me show you the patterns and how they come together. So first of all, there is this card, and here is the pattern for it. Now in Teresa's, any broken line is a score line, any solid line is a cut line. So you're simply going to cut that out, and then you're going to score along those lines. Okay, so this is number one. This is for the belly band, and it says right here, this is the right card section. So then we're going to go and look at our left card section, this one, and here it is. Again, cut out all of the solid lines and go along the broken lines with a score line. Now you'll notice that Teresa has used our 1/4 inch white extra sticky tape. She's done that because this is going to attach right here. And because this card is movable, it's going to be folded, we really want to make sure that that stays. So you want to attach those two together. And that's what you will have for the base of your card. So let me open this up, and that's what you're going to have right there. And as you fold those score lines, you will then have your completed card. Now you'll notice, excuse me, so sorry, that there is a double score line right here. Let me bring the pattern back. That's because this is going to get a little thicker. So Teresa's giving you 2 score lines to accommodate that extra thickness. That's what we like about her. She thinks ahead for us. Then you'll notice the inside of her card has pockets. So she's covered that for us too. In fact, this is the small pocket, and you see these flaps. Let me get the sample out for you. Here we go. Here's the small pocket. The flaps are all going to be in mountain folds, meaning that they're going to look like that. And then they're also going to have the extra sticky tape placed upon the edges right along the fold, and then you just tap it onto your finished card or your card after the papers have been done. Okay, that's going to allow you a pocket. What's this pattern? Well, this is to do your paper so that you have the edge of that pocket showing. Teresa's done everything out of brown cardstock. And that way, by giving you that paper pattern, you can allow the brown cardstock to be the border of your papers. So it works perfectly. Thank you, Teresa. Now there is another pocket, and it's right here. And there's the pattern for it. Again, it's called the vertical pocket. And I have a feeling that these little pockets might come in handy in other paper crafting. So we're going to fold those back, and then this is going to go right here, right on the edge of that paper. There you go. And again, there is the paper pattern to do exactly what Teresa has done right here. Love the fact that she's provided all of that for us, and the assembly is pretty easy. Now the belly band she has given us It too has some double score lines. There you go. Because this is going to become a bit bulky, and it's just easier to have that double fold so that when you get it together, it can just slip like so, and it will slip right onto your card. Again, the extra sticky tape. Now, let's go back to the pretties that she did. So, you saw that rusty sheet has been used on the front. Teresa also added some of our thin line dazzles. So it comes in a package. It's got gold and black and white and silver in it, and she's used the black right here. So that just has a nice edge to it. Then on the inside, so she's got her pocket, and the papers that she's used, in addition to the one I just showed you, she's used everything in the paper pack. Well, why wouldn't she? But you can see that that little owl is peeking over from the left flap, and that looks really nice. And she's just going to go through all of the papers and use the bits and pieces. So far as these, well, you know that those are going to come from those cutout sheets. And she did add some of our dazzles for Hello Friend, for Live, Laugh, and Love. Now, this is a new set. It's called a set of words and phrases dazzles, and it comes in brown, black, white, gold, and silver. And Teresa used the black. I think the brown would have also worked beautifully. Again, it's called Set of Words and Phrases dazzles. So as I open this up, now this one just has one of the cutouts. This has one of the circular ones. Remember, we had the sun. Well, this is from that same sheet. You've got more of them here, inspiration. She's added simple joys right here out of the dazzles, and blessings. I like the fact that she has that circle going outside the edge of the pocket. I think that's really a nice design technique. I love the fortune over there. You'll see it in the paper pack. And again, this just folds in, and these two fold there. And then the belly band is again the brown. She's put some of the paper and another one of the big cutouts. She also added, and this is the Sunshine Garden Petals from 49th and Market, and more of the jute. So I like the fact that she uses many of the same elements on all of her cards, including the jute. That works so well. Wow, the woman did a wonderful job. So Alchemy is the name of the paper pack. Looks like this. And Teresa has done an amazing job with their projects. They are so beautiful and so unique. I love that. Now, you'll see many of the items that she used down below where I am. Again, as I said, there is a gallery. If you go to the gallery, you'll see complete instructions, measurements, and everything, plus those patterns. You definitely want to have those. If you're watching it on YouTube, please come on over to paperwishes.com. We have a money saver, but we don't want you to miss out on. Plus, getting those patterns is just a treat. And thank you so much for joining us. We absolutely love that you're part of the Paper Wishes family. Please leave us a comment. We want to know what you're thinking. And if you love these as much as I,